Welcome to Gamblin and Ramblin, a weekly show where we react and rant about the weekend in sports betting. I'm Tim Kalinowski. My co-host is Charlie DiSturco. You can follow us both in the Action app, Action YouTube channel, Action Network HQ on TikTok and Twitter. Charlie, we're no longer in the studio. We're back home. Kind of sucks, but good to see you, pal.
Yeah, good to see you too. I'll be back in the studio hopefully next week or so, but had to take off a week to go home, see the parents, kind of get, take away that after that long weekend, give myself a little rest before I get back into the thick of things with the conference championship and the Super Bowl coming up.
Yeah, the social battery, having not seen people in a real long time and done that kind of thing. It was even for someone like me who seems to, not stop. I was like, I had to take a full day. I mean, it was exhausting. We got every little ounce out of that time. I thought it was a blast.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was phenomenal. I wish we could do it every weekend, but the party goes on, the show goes on, as they say in the biz. So let's get it rolling. Let's talk NFL. Let's I'll let you victory lap if you want about me just going down in a storm of flames right now.
Yeah. So what Charlie's talking about is an update on our little playoff bet here where we drafted the teams. I have everybody left. Charlie just has the Chiefs. So I don't feel safe. Well, the thing that kind of sucks too, I don't know if you view this as a good thing or a bad thing. I have a future on the Chiefs and you have the Chiefs. So it's like, maybe it's a kind of a good emotional hedge, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the bar tab is going to be paid. If the Chiefs win, the bar tab is just paid with your Chiefs future, right? Versus
Correct.
If it doesn't happen, at least you get your bar tab from me and you get your Chiefs future basically paid out in alcohol.
Correct. So, all right, who pissed you off the most this weekend? I know you got to be pissed about something.
Dude, Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. I mean, that was ridiculous. I was so confident in Dallas. I know we talked about this. You like San Francisco. I like Dallas. I was very confident that the Cowboys were going to make a 180 after that game against Tampa. I was like, Dak Prescott's going to be able to do this. Brock Purdy's never faced a defense of this caliber. And I was right for the most part. Brock Purdy and the Niners did not look totally comfortable. The game was 9-6 at half, only because Dak threw 2 picks and gave them 6 free points. Dallas was in control. They should have covered that 4.5. That was probably the most tilting game to watch from top to bottom for me because I had the same game parlay right up for action on T.Y. Hilton's over, and he's streaking down the middle for a walk-in touchdown, and Dak Prescott just feeds CeeDee Lamb. It was one of those games, I don't even know if you want to give your opinion on this, but Dak, I think, threw that second interception at the end of half and then was so deep inside of his head and he became a mental midget that it almost was like, I only am going to throw to the guy I trust, which is CeeDee Lamb. And it seemed like he tuned out T.Y., Gallup, Schultz. Pollard went down with injury, and then he just used Zeke in the backfield as runs and pass blocking.
Yeah, well, here's my issue. I feel like a lot of the national sentiment has been, look, the Niners didn't even play that well. Purdy looked uncomfortable. Purdy's not that great. Watch out for when they play the Eagles next week. It's like, look, the story should not be Brock Purdy, and I don't think it necessarily is, but since the Niners are the team moving on, people are like, hey, we saw some chinks in the armor, but no. Dak Prescott, man, you're a vet in this league. You should be a guy that's able to capitalize on a situation like this. I got no time for feeling sorry for the Dallas Cowboys, and at the same rate, I don't really want to poke holes at San Francisco either because it's like, this playoff football. You're going to play an ugly game. You're going to play a muck it up type of game. You got to be able to win different ways, right? We say that all the time. That's a great thing about playoff football. Street fight could break out, a track meet could break out. Dak, dude, you're a veteran in the league. Come on, right?
It's every time. It's like I finally thought that he had done it and finally got over that hump. We saw the game against San Francisco last year go down in flames, and I'm like, this time a different outcome will happen. And it looked good for the most part. The defense came out hot, the offense played great. One mistake from Dak, and you're like, okay, they mitigated damage, 3 points. And then at the end of half, they're going to get the ball back at the end of half, and they have a chance to score. And all of a sudden, Dak throws another interception, obviously off a deflection. But it was just, there are so many little things that he did, and you wouldn't expect it out of him. What about at the end of the last drive of the game? The first play, he rolls out on a play action, and he like tries to truck a defensive lineman in the end zone and then threw it away. I was watching and I was like, what is he doing? Like, does he know that he's playing football and he's the quarterback, or does he expect that he's the running back? Like, it was, and then that last play call at the end was just like, I wonder how long Kellen Moore spent just like drawing that up, like, oh, this concoction's gonna work, only for Turpin to get mauled.
I don't have a problem with the last play. Like, I really don't. How many times do we see teams in that same situation? I mean, like, what? Who's got a play call for last play of the game on your own, whatever, 20-yard line, whatever it was? Like, I'm sorry they don't have a play and they tried something different. How many times do we see hook and ladder over and over again? I at least give them credit for somewhat being creative, but the game was over well before that. If you have a problem with that play, it's like you're a fool.
No, it was just funny.
Yeah, it was like a poetic ending to the whole thing. But and you also, I think you had Dallas plus 4.5, so you even had some CLV as well. Quickly,
little jab right there. Yeah, I got
yeah.
And you take away no. Before we get into this, you take away that 3 points at the end of the first half. I covered. Like that 3-point interception. That interception. Oh my! The interception. He throws the interception in what should have been 3 points and the ball at the end of half for a touchdown. And they go down the field and they give up a field goal. That's the difference right there.
Charlie,
and he missed T.Y. Hilton wide open for a touchdown.
Charlie, how old are you?
So many things.
How old are you? How old are you?
25, 26 in March.
How long do you think your gambling career is going to go? You're going to gamble the rest of your life?
Yeah, probably another 50 years.
You got no hope. If you're 25 and you already played if this, if that, 3 points here before the half, Charlie, how many more playoff football games do you think you're going to watch? Stuff happens over and over again.
And you know what? At halftime, I'm going to say my bets don't look good, but if he breaks out a 75-yard touchdown run to begin the third quarter, and then they intercept it, and then Dak Prescott throws a 75-yard touchdown, all of a sudden, my bet looks good. And I'm going to still write with those hypotheticals because that's how it works. I am going to come up with these crazy hypotheticals in my head to convince myself. Or it's like that meme you see when you look in the mirror and you're like, you don't suck at sports betting. The players suck. And that is exactly what happened with the Cowboys. The Cowboys sucked, and that was not my fault. That was a good bet. I will take it to my grave.
You got CLV. You did your job.
That's what it says on your mirror. It's not your fault.
All right. Pick your next gripe because I know you probably got another one. Who do you got? We pissed off at the Giants. We pissed off at the Bengals. Who is it?
Yeah, we can quickly just go on the Eagles. I just think that that was a man amongst boys. I think we kind of knew what was going to happen there. The Giants were fraudulent. The Vikings were fraudulent. That was just who was going to get blown up by the Eagles. The Bengals Bills was probably the most shocking to me. That wasn't even a game. That was over from the beginning. And you know what's interesting is before the Damar Hamlin injury, the Bills could not stop the Bengals offense. And I just was like, oh, you know what? They're in Cincinnati, whatever. They come to Buffalo in the snow. This is the most perfect condition for Buffalo to win, play dirty, win, just gross.
Buffalo it up. Why have home field if you're not going to play like Buffalo?
Exactly. And you got Josh Allen at quarterback who can stumble and bumble for 20-yard rushes. He looks scared. I don't understand what happened. I don't know. There were so many. He slid before. He never took hits this time, which is if there's one time to put your body on the line, it's in the playoffs. He was playing afraid. I know he had the bloody elbows. I don't know what the difference was, but the Bengals just looked so much better and so much quicker in the snow. And it was 100%. Shocking.
What's the equation? Quarterbacks tend to run more in the playoffs, right? Because they're willing to put it out on the line. Josh Allen, where was that? Where was that? Right?
He had 9 rushing yards in the first half. He had 14 against the Cincinnati Bengals in the first drive of the game in week 17 or whatever week 16 they played.
No, I mean, the guy will put his body on the line and run for a $140 against Houston in the regular season. It's like Josh. This is why you can't play that way every week, because when the playoff comes around, you can't be tentative, right? So what's the point of doing all that in the regular season?
I was beyond shocked, and then Diggs was being taken out of the game, which okay, sure, that happens, but I don't know. I mean, you have one of the most deadly running quarterbacks in the NFL because of his size and stature and ability to be a battering ram. And they didn't draw up designs. Maybe he was slightly injured. And we don't know if he was or not. But my goodness, man, that was just. I mean, there was a terrific showing from the Bengals. It wasn't even The Bills just played bad and the Bengals played great, and they mauled them, and the game was over by halftime.
I'll tell. It only just makes me think as I watch it. Like, tell me if you agree. I got Mahomes 1, Burrow 2, Allen maybe not even 3, maybe even behind, maybe even further back. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think Burrow made that jump to 2. Like, I was always hesitant between him and Allen. But this last playoff, the last 2 playoff games in which we've seen Burrow be able to win ugly. Like, this has been a long-term thing, right? The Bengals have covered or like won in all of these games. They're on like a double-digit winning streak. They've been able to do this despite like everything working against them. They were down 3 offensive linemen, starters. It did not matter. Joe Burrow is that dude. Joe Burrow played phenomenal. Allen, you know, there's been I thought Miami was just one of those like play a team 3 times, you'll see what happens. He was trying to be aggressive, trying to just blow them out of the water early, and it backfired. It might just be that he's not as good as the top 2 of Burrow and Mahomes. And you know, maybe Lamar's up there, but that's a discussion for a different day with him being so injured all the time, and we haven't seen him in a while. But yeah, it's pretty crazy.
There's a certain responsibility, and look, it's not the NBA, so you're not going to load management, sit him games, but there's a certain responsibility when you're the quarterback and you say you are a running quarterback to take care of yourself. I feel like he doesn't take care of himself during the regular season, not in terms of like an off the field thing, on the field. Don't put your body at risk in the middle of October because it's not worth it, right? Maybe you don't need to get those 2 more yards and break a rib or 2, whatever it may be, put that toll on your body. You have a certain responsibility to do that. It's not just like, oh, what a tough football player, he won't go down. No, you have to understand you have a bigger thing at stake here. And that's how I feel about Allen. Like, he's so fun to watch. It's awesome. Hey, I can't blame him. And like I said, middle of October, I'm sitting there watching Red Zone, watch this guy rumble and bumble for 57 yards. I'm like, what a beast. But I'm sure his team would be saying, we'll take a couple of those back for a fresh Josh Allen in January, huh?
Yeah, I know. And I think it comes back to the all mobile quarterbacks, right? Like RG3, we saw his career go down in flames because he couldn't stay healthy. He had that 1 ACL injury. You have Kyler Murray, who, like, I was always scared about what would happen with him because he runs so much. He's one of those guys, though, that protects himself, right? He slides down early. He takes the lesser hits. It is backfired at times before for him because he like falls short of the first down marker, and all of a sudden it's third short. But like you said, this is in the regular season when it doesn't really matter as much because if you have a good team, right? The Cardinals didn't have a good team because they had a horrible coach at Cliff Kingsbury. But if you have a team like the Bills, you're gonna make the playoffs. You're probably gonna be competing for a 1 seed. So playing your safety as the quarterback and the start of your team and the engine of your team has to come into question when it comes to playoff time. That's when you leave it all on the field. We saw what Jalen Hurts happened with him. They held him out. They took their time with him, and then he was a full go, and they just absolutely blew New York out of the water. And obviously, there are some freak injuries that can happen. We saw Mahomes almost go down with that injury. That's something that you can't control. But when you're running around, 10 yards down the field, that's when you have to be ready to either take the hit in the playoffs or slide down and play for your safety.
Yeah, and to be honest too, I thought Stuckey made a good point on Twitter. He was talking about, look, yeah, Cincinnati is a banged up offensive line. Everyone's saying, oh, this is the matchup they're going to exploit. But because of the snow, Buffalo couldn't really exploit that because it's a slower trick.
Right, and Burrow was able to get the ball quickly out of the hands, and when you get to a guy like Jamar Chase or Tyler Boyd, the 2 yards downfield, it works out, and they can break big ones.
Yep, it was tough. I mean, to be honest, we kind of got screwed with the weekend. It was not a great football weekend from an entertainment perspective. A lot of storylines, but entertainment perspective, not that great. And speaking of storylines, Patrick Mahomes, the Jaguars game, the guy's out, he comes back. Chad Henne with a massive drive. What'd you think of that?
Dude, I mean, how about the 98-yard touchdown drive by Chad Henne? I was so impressed to see a backup quarterback come in and lead them down the field. I mean, that was the difference maker of the game right there, was that Chad Henne's able to come in after Mahomes gets hurt, and we don't know what to expect from him, and he leads down and scores that touchdown drive. But I think the thing that we all want to talk about is what happened with Pat Mahomes when he left for just one drive in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm an idiot because I bet the Jaguars live. So I mean, that's how
money line.
I had them plus 9.5 before the game, and then I bet them live money line. Basically axing the money line or the spread bet. So it's like I came out net even, which I should have put less money on the money line. But I was like, hey, it's a great opportunity. No way this guy's going the length of the field. Obviously, that's what Chad Henne did. Patrick Mahomes came back into the game, and our favorite topic came up. Our favorite topic because there was a refund offered for certain Patrick Mahomes props. And before we get into it, I don't even talk, don't say anything. Let's go to commercial.
Refund, another refund, single teaser, parlay, refund. Player got injured, but your bet is not done. Don't dismay. Your refund is on the way. You pushed.
I mean, just incredible. Very well put together by our producer, Hutton Jackson. I mean, the wizardry there, obviously that's been stuck in everybody's head, but it works out perfectly because Whopper, also refund. Charlie, I know you hate this. I know you hate this.
No. I love this. I'm the one that's banging the Whopper drums around the office. But as far as the Mahomes,
yeah, dude, I love it too.
I thought you were talking about the commercial. The commercial. Okay, I love the commercial.
This is why we can't go to commercial. This is why we're not pros. This is why we can't do that. We lose focus.
Yes. Okay. Back on. Let me just get my focus on. All right. This refund is absurd. It wasn't even like he didn't play the second half. He missed one drive and a kneel down with 27 seconds left. One drive. And like the grand scheme of things, like Chad Henne led a 98-yard touchdown drive. Like, I don't understand how this is a conversation in which DraftKings is refunding people on Mahomes legs. And like if it was a single and one leg of a same game parlay. Like, am I going to get a refund because I had Travis Kelce anytime touchdown parlay with 100 receiving yards and he came 2 yards short because Mahomes didn't play and Mahomes throws to Kelce more often than not, and maybe I would have gotten 2 extra yards. Like I don't even know how close he came to his props, but like, I mean, my goodness, one drive. And also, I mean, where's the refund on my idiot brain for taking the Jags live because I thought he was out? I could have been like, hey, I thought Mahomes was out. Where's my refund on the live bet? And look, like if DraftKings wanted to sponsor the show, by all means, it's great. I got nothing bad things to say about that. It's just, what are we doing here? The bailouts, let's just be consistent with the bailouts. If we're going to bail people out, can we at least be consistent? Or actually taking into account what the person who like took it on the chin the worst? Because like I would argue when you start micromanaging, nitpicking, all that stuff, there's actually other props that were probably more affected, right? Yeah, there was other props that were more affected. And what about the I mean, like this is like the same. At the end of the game, the Jaguars kicked the field goal down 10 to cover the spread, and obviously it makes sense to go down 7 and get the onside kick. But like, you don't see the Chiefs backers being like, give me a refund, and then getting a refund because it doesn't make sense. Like Mahomes missed one drive. They went down and scored a touchdown. It affected absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things. Okay, sure. Mahomes could have gone 3 and out, and then the Jaguars would have gotten the ball. And this is not even a conversation. I had to get off Twitter because people were tweeting at FanDuel, at DraftKings, everywhere saying, I want a refund if Mahomes doesn't. Mahomes wasn't even ruled out yet and returned, and he missed one drive. And people are sitting there spending time and exhausting themselves tweeting about wanting a refund. Like the amount of bad beats that I've had over like silly things, like Devonta Smith was 3 yards short of his over against the Giants. He had 40-yard reception in the first quarter. Had a 3-yard reception to give me my over, called back as an ineligible downfield receiver with 3 minutes left in the game. You don't see me tweeting at FanDuel being like, oh, wow, because of, this offensive lineman moving 1 extra yard downfield, I lost my bet, give me a refund for 1 play. Like, are you kidding me?
Well, say Henne went 3 and out on that drive, give the ball back to Jacksonville. Jacksonville goes the length of the field. Lawrence has 80 passing yards, whatever. It's like, oh, where's the refund on, Lawrence under passing yards? That gave him an extra possession, right? Like Mahomes wouldn't have punted the ball away. Like once you start doing that, it's like, I get it. It's good business. I get it. Who am I to say? Well, what do I know? But it's just,
what about if Mahomes didn't come back, right? And then all these Chiefs receivers are now not getting their yards and they're sticking to the run game more. So now you had an Isaiah Pacheco under, and he's going over because, you know, they're handing him the ball so much. And Kelsey ended up going under, and Valdez Scantling going under, and Juju Smith-Schuster went under, all because the Chiefs changed their game plan because Chad Henne was the whole entire game. Then are you going to refund every single leg there? Like, it doesn't make sense. The whole thing is absurd. It'll never end. You can make like a whole web of like, this is connected to this is connected. The total, like if the game ended up going over because that one drive with Henne and that one touchdown drive that Henne led, is like, well, I didn't expect him. I expected Mahomes to come in. He could have punted the ball, and Henne led a 98-yard touchdown drive. Maybe we should get refunded because I had money on this. It's like, dude, you're entering gambling with the idea you can win or lose, and it wasn't even like he missed the entire second half, right? Like it was.
No, it's a joke. It's a joke.
It's one drive, and not even that. He led a 98-yard touchdown drive.
Oh, I know.
So like Chiefs backers are so happy, and then there's still a reason for sports bettors to complain, and I don't get it. It never ends. There's gonna be bad beats. There's gonna be injuries. That's what you get when you bet on the player prop market. You bet on player props, there's a chance they get injured. And it happens to me all too well. It happened to me. Christian Kirk dropped all right, Christian Kirk. You remember that 50-yard pass downfield that he dropped? It went through his hands. Do I get a refund on my under because 9 out of 10 times he catches that ball? I had the over and he missed it, he went under. Like,
if you tweet at them enough, you might.
Yeah, I need to get like 20,000 more followers on Twitter. Maybe a little bit of gain, and I'll get refunds, and I'll be like the king of the refund.
The only refunds I will stand for are NHL overtime losses. Those are the only refunds I will stand for. I'll be the Kevin Hart in the DraftKings ad. I would be like, that'd be my number one thing if I was president for a day of a sports books. The only refunds that are allowed are NHL overtime. That's it.
If a player gets injured, like the first drive of the game, I'm okay with something like that if it's a high-level player where like it's Kyler Murray tearing his ACL, getting hurt before. Yeah. When Kyler Murray got hurt, I was okay with them refunding because A, it's an island game, B, it's a freak injury, and like, you know what? I'll be alongside you holding hands saying refund, another refund for those situations. But I'm not going to be doing it when it's one drive for Patrick Mahomes or like Travis Kelsey goes down, God forbid, in the third quarter with an injury. I'm not going to be there being like, well, you know, if you technically did another quarter and a half, he would have gotten his 22 receiving yards that he needed for his. No, we're stopping that. You're stupid. You lost the bet because he got hurt, and that's what happened. And you just live with that loss.
Look, Charlie, people are always going to find something to complain about, whether it's injuries, refunds, whether it's CLV. They're always going to find something to get angry about. That's the bettors, man. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I know you and me would never. You and me would never.
No, I mean, I wouldn't be upset about showing my coworkers dog pictures either. I wouldn't be upset about dogs being around too. You know.
Here's where
Joe
we're going.
Burrow's got that dog in him. Maybe that's why you don't like Joe Burrow, because you know he's got that dog in him. You were hesitant.
Hutton's telling me that we're going late here. Oh, looks like I gotta wrap it up. Quickly.
Yeah, run away.
Ray, put you on the spot. If you don't want to go first, I'll go first. Rank the 4 remaining teams right now.
Are we saying Mahomes is healthy or not healthy?
As is, because he's not healthy.
Okay.
Come on, he's not healthy.
Okay. Oh man. Eagles, Niners, Chiefs, Bengals. I think the NFC kind of has the edge here now.
You asked Mahomes healthy or not, and then you still stuck him over the Bengals.
Yeah. It's a pick 'em right now, even with a hurt ankle and they're home.
I hear you. Yeah. The only way I disagree is I go Eagles, San Fran, Bengals, Chiefs. That's my only thing, because I think he's really banged up. I think he's really hurt.
Yeah, so do I. But I think that they're going to be able to mitigate damage, and like we'll see. But I'll give the edge to Kansas City solely because I'm not giving you your top 3 teams that you have left in our playoff pool at the top of the 3.
Very fair, and we'll complain no matter what. The both of us, we'll both complain.
I was just going to say, Gamblin and Ramblin, Super Bowl together. Me and you, we're going to be back together.
We'll be in Cleveland for the Super Bowl, not actually where the Super Bowl is, but we'll be in Cleveland.
Where dreams are made of, Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, I'm going to the Super Bowl in Cleveland. My mom's like, isn't that not where the Super Bowl is? I'm like, you're right, but they now have betting.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be fun. We'll be there. So.
And here comes Hutton typing closest Cleveland will get to a Super Bowl. Ha ha ha. Oh, Hutton, you're so
producer
lucky. You're
Hutton.
so lucky we went long and we didn't have to hear you talk about Lamar Jackson and Jim Harbaugh. You're
Or
so lucky.
Or Joe Burrow and how he's corny.
Oh, yeah, Joe Burrow. You're so lucky we went long. I bailed you out. Be sure to follow me in the Action app and on Twitter, TimmyCal12. Follow Charlie as well. Charlie, give yourself a plug and then we'll call it a wrap.
At Charlie DiSturco on Twitter and the Action Network. Get ready because we're going to be betting on some exotic props for the Super Bowl, baby.
Yep. Thank you for turning in. Have a good weekend. Good luck with your bets, everyone.
Refund, other refund.
Refund. Whopper.
Refund, another refund. Single teaser parlay refund. Player got injured, but your bet is not done. Don't dismay. Your refund is on the way. You push.